Last week, we introduced Liu De-wen, a devoted neighborhood chief in Kaohsiung, who carried out the final request of retired soldiers by bringing their ashes back to China. News of Liu's funerary service has spread far and wide, even coming to the attention of one soldier's daughter, Chang Hong-mei, in China's Shanxi Province. Chang contacted Liu, inquiring about the remains of her father, hoping to bring him home. At last, this veteran's remains were reunited with his family. Here's part 2 of our Sunday in-depth report.
80-year-old Chang Hong-mei shows these black and white photos of herself as a student. Chang was born in Linfen in Shanxi Province. Her mother was pregnant with her when her father, Chang Ching-shan, was called up for active military service. She would never have the chance to see her father when he was alive.
When I was young, when playing with other children, they would say, "When my father comes home, he will buy me something." I would also say, "When my father comes home, he will also give me something." The other kids would laugh and ask, "Does she still have a father?" This would make me upset. Rather than accept what they said, I would tell them, "Though my father isn't here, I do have a father."
Tense cross-strait relations prevented family members from communicating with each other until this restriction was lifted in 1987. Chang would later learn that her father had passed away.
Originally, there was someone from our hometown who lived in Kaohsiung. He wrote a letter telling me that my father's ashes were in Yuan Heng Temple. I later made a trip to Taiwan to investigate, but the person at the temple searched for my father's record on the computer and said he wasn't here. I asked if they could be wrong and inquired about the original ledger. I searched through it, but he wasn't listed.
Despite the setback, Chang was determined to find the whereabouts of her father. She would later study computers and conduct an internet search.
I was still not convinced, so I asked my children to search the internet. And then I bought a computer to do this check and found Mr. Liu, the neighborhood chief.
We had no prior contact with neighborhood chief Liu. We only learned of him through the internet. We saw that he was active in related activities, so we decided to try and see if he could help us.
Chang wrote a personal letter to Liu De-wen, though this letter required a lot of effort on her part.
I wrote a quick draft, but in the end it took me a lot of time to finish. We used simplified characters, and I worried that Taiwanese people wouldn't understand, so I looked up the traditional characters in a dictionary.
In April, I received this registered letter. I didn't know this person. The postman simply told me I had a registered letter from Shanxi.
After receiving Chang's request, Liu began inquiring about the whereabouts of her father, Chang Ching-shan. Yuan Heng Temple gave him the same answer that Chang received, that her father's ashes weren't stored there. Liu later traveled by motorcycle to a few neighboring temples and received the same reply. He never thought it would take 3 months and a little bit of luck before stumbling upon an answer.
My wife was busy and asked me to take our son to cram school. I was unfamiliar with the road. I drove to the end of a road, then made a turn. That was another dead end, but then I turned to my right and saw this temple.
Leo was checking on behalf of others if this person was here. I said, "Give me the name and I will check." Fortunately, at that time, we were making a comprehensive record. After a quick check, I found this name and contacted him.
While the search for these remains was torturous, plans for a trip to China quickly fell into place. Leo excitedly contacted family members to arrange a time when he could return Chang Ching-shan's ashes to their final resting place.
Mr. Chang Ching-shan, I am Liu De-wen, neighborhood chief of Zoying's Shanhe. I have received a request from your daughter, Chang Hong-mei, from your hometown in Shanxi to take you home.
Leo boarded a flight to Shanxi and would later rush to take a taxi to catch a train. It was a tiring trip as he continued to clutch these remains, even when he fell asleep. When he arrived at the final destination of Linfen, he was greeted by relatives anxiously awaiting these remains.
这是我妈妈。哎，是张一下。哎呀。女儿已经想到哈，这爷爷的灵骨了。
3 generations of the Zhang family had their wish completed as Liu delivered their father home.
爸，你回来了，我很久很久都没，从这儿没见过你。70多年了，见到你的相片，见到你的骨灰，我非常激动。我要感谢刘里长把你远道送回来，这是我梦寐以求的。这刘里长圆了我的梦。
这叫缘分，也是对我一个人生中的一个。
I think it was fate to allow me to help them. Helping others is more important than money or jewels. To me, this is priceless.
While Chang Ching-shan left home in his youth as a soldier, he has finally made the long journey home to be reunited with his family.